This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hello, Akhil. Hi, Chanakya.
Morning, Suresh.
Morning,
Good
sir.
morning, Vikas, Prakash, Gopi, Prashant, Rajshekar. Chanakya, nice to see you at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is our plan for our today's session. As we all know, we are starting a new tool called Kubernetes. So, in this session, we'll understand what is Kubernetes. Understanding Kubernetes architecture is very, very important. Understanding Kubernetes architecture is very important. We'll understand architecture. Understanding components of Kubernetes master. Also understand the components of Kubernetes nodes. So this is all theory, understanding the Kubernetes concepts. Okay. So let's proceed. Nodes also. One minute, please. Yes. Kubernetes is a tool created by Google. It's an open source tool. It is a container orchestration tool. It is a container orchestration tool. Because Docker is what tool? Because
Docker is containerization
tool. Any other container orchestration tool? Did we discuss about container orchestration tool?
Yeah, briefly we discussed.
Which tool we have discussed?
Um,
Sunil, what is
Docker
a
Swarm.
orchestration tool?
We'll see. We'll discuss that. Docker Swarm. Vidya, are you there when we learned about Docker Swarm?
It's a container orchestration tool, right?
So what does it does? Orchestration. We have discussed that on Docker Swarm.
Mm.
Do you remember?
No, I forgot.
Load
Can you please
balancing,
repeat for me?
load balancing, scaling of containers, handling failover
Oh,
scenarios.
yeah. Got it.
The
Got
tool
it.
which performs these activities is container orchestration tool. You have to revise with you.
Yeah, got it.
So Docker Swarm is a container orchestration. Docker is a containerization tool. Docker Swarm is a container orchestration tool. Kubernetes is same as Docker Swarm. It is a container orchestration tool built by Google. Okay, obviously it's an open source tool. The prerequisite if you want to use Kubernetes needs one containerization tool. It uses Docker. It uses Docker for creating containers. Kubernetes uses containerization tools called Docker for creating containers. Kubernetes creates cluster. I'll explain this terminology. Don't worry. Kubernetes. What is cluster? I'll explain this. Kubernetes creates clusters, deploy and manage clusters. Okay. By using Kubernetes, we can form a cluster. Anyways, we'll be seeing practically how to form a cluster. Kubernetes is also called as K8s. People call Kubernetes as K8s because there are 8 letters between K and S there. So it is called as K8s. By using Kubernetes, we can form a cluster. Now, what is cluster? How to form a cluster? In which we'll be seeing practically. Kubernetes schedules, runs, and manages isolated containers. So it runs the container because it needs Docker. Anyways, we'll be using Docker. So Kubernetes will be closely in communication with Docker to create containers. Okay. You don't need to worry about this. If you want to practice Kubernetes, on AWS platform, we have a service called as EKS. Elastic Kubernetes Service is a service used for practicing Kubernetes on AWS environment. Okay. The features of Kubernetes, in fact, features of container orchestration tool. Clustering any number of hardwares in any number of containers in different hardware. Auto scaling, auto healing is nothing but handling failover scenario. Load balancing, rollback. So these are all whatever we have learned in Docker Swarm. The same things we'll be doing it in Kubernetes. We already know the concepts of container orchestration. Now this is important, Kubernetes architecture. In Kubernetes, we will be regularly experiencing the term called cluster. First point, you should understand what is cluster. A cluster is combination of one master and multiple nodes. In Kubernetes, we regularly use a term called cluster. Let's try to understand what is cluster. Cluster is combination of one master and multiple nodes. If you look at this diagram, this is a Kubernetes cluster. This is a Kubernetes cluster. In this diagram, can you see the topmost rectangle box? The topmost rectangle box is Kubernetes master. Can I say K8s master? Can you see here? Yes. This bottom box is called as Kubernetes. What is a cluster? Is combination of master and nodes. Can you see this is nothing but a node? This is a Akhil. This is a cluster which is combination of one master and how many nodes?
Multiple, sir.
In this diagram,
One node.
one master and one node.
Correct.
We can have one master and two nodes. One master, three nodes. It's up to your requirements. Combination of master is always one. Combination of master and nodes is called as a cluster. In Kubernetes, we'll see practicals all this. But in Kubernetes, we come across the term called cluster. Remember, cluster is nothing but combination of master machine and node machine. Generally, cluster will have combination. Cluster is combination of master machine and node. One master, one node, one master, two nodes, one master, 10 nodes. It's up to the requirement. So Kubernetes cluster is nothing but combination of master and node. Next statement is very important. Pod is atomic unit of deployment in Kubernetes. In Kubernetes, if you want to create anything, the smallest object, not a high level object, the low level object, the smallest object what you can create using Kubernetes is a pod. Using Kubernetes, you can create pod. using Kubernetes, you cannot create container because it's not a containerization tool. I hope it is clear, Vishal and Vikas. You cannot create containers because it's not. We are never saying as it is containerization tool. Docker is a containerization tool. So what you can do, you can create pod. Remember, the minimum thing what you can do is creating a pod.
Yes, sir, I have a query.
Yes, please.
So when you say that it's an container orchestration tool, okay, and then when we say that pod is a least atomic unit, I mean it's an atomic unit in the Kubernetes.
Yes.
And so what would be the difference between a container and a pod then?
Pod. Yes. That's how the architecture is designed. I have not completed the components of the master, and I have not discussed about the components of node. Then you'll understand the difference between container and pod. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So within the next 20 minutes, your doubt will be clear. Using Kubernetes, what you can do, you can create a pod. Using Kubernetes, what you can do, you can create a pod. That's it. Look at the next statement. Pod consists of one or more tightly coupled containers. To simplify this, pod consists, forget about more, pod can consist of one Docker container. So pod contains what? Prashant, what does pod contains?
Containers. But sir, if in case pod contains container, then container would be the least atomic thing, right?
As per Kubernetes, what is the least unit?
Pod.
That's it.
So, Sunil,
Kubernetes will communicate to Docker, and then Docker will create containers.
Okay.
Kubernetes
Sunil,
will talk to Docker. 1 minute, Vidya, I'm coming to your point.
okay.
Kubernetes will talk to Docker, and Docker will create the container. You cannot create container using Kubernetes because it's not a containerization tool. As per Kubernetes architecture, when you are using Kubernetes, you will not find any container outside the pod. You can never, Prashant, you cannot create container outside the pod when you're using Kubernetes tool.
Well,
Impossible.
I mean, okay,
There is
when
no
you
scope
say,
of creating container outside the pod. If you have container, definitely it is in the pod only.
okay, so then when you say that container in the pod, I mean, Docker Swarm, it's like, you know, a container on the host, right?
Yes, that's
So,
the way Docker Swarm behaves, and Kubernetes architecture is different.
okay.
That's why it is different. Yes, Vidya, your question, please.
Yeah, pod means it's just like a space or what exactly?
Pod means it's one more layer over the container. We'll see practically how to create a pod, then you'll understand.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank
We'll
you.
learn how to create a pod. Inside the pod, we'll learn how to create a container. Then you'll understand practically. Pod is one more layer of the outside the container. This is mandatory when you're using Kubernetes. If you're using Kubernetes, you cannot try for creating a container without pod. Impossible.
So,
In
sir,
Kubernetes, you cannot create a container without a pod. You have to have a pod.
okay, sir, is it like an infrastructure over infrastructure? That can be said.
Something like that. Because pod is having its function.
Controlled environment for the container.
Exactly. Pod is controlling the container. Actually, pod is controlling the container. Okay. It has no specific purpose or functionality as such. It is one more wrapping over the container. Okay, that's it. Next point. Pod runs on node. Akhil, we know that cluster is combination of master and node.
Yes,
Am I right?
Sunil. Yes, Sunil. Yes,
So where
yes.
the pod runs on? Node.
Node.
So remember, pod runs on node. Pod will never run on master machine.
No. Okay.
And the node is controlled by Kubernetes master. This is the node. Obviously, master will control the node. So don't worry about this. Kubernetes does not understand containers. Kubernetes can only understand pod. Fine. In this diagram, we can see one master and node. Node is also called as minion. Master is also called as control plane. Master is also called as control plane. Any doubts till now? Understanding as of now? It's a container orchestration tool by Google. In Kubernetes, we need to create a cluster. Practically, we'll be learning how to create a cluster. Cluster is combination of master and node. One master, one node, one master, two nodes, one master, 10 nodes. What Kubernetes can create is pod. Inside the pod, we'll have a container.
Nafis here.
That's it. Nafis.
Then why, I mean, there is already tool of Docker Swarm. Then any specific reason we can go for the Kubernetes or Docker Swarm? Any specific reason?
There is one advantage of Kubernetes.
The pod
Okay.
only.
No. Conceptual advantage is there. Okay.
Okay. We're going to explain on that one.
Okay.
I mean, in which scenario we have to go for Kubernetes?
I'll explain the conceptual advantage what Kubernetes is having when compared to Docker Swarm. Okay. Now, Nafis,
Okay.
if it is Docker Swarm, Docker Swarm which uses which containerization tool?
Docker, correct?
Docker Swarm is a container orchestration.
Orchestration tool.
This is containerization. I think this point is clear. Every container orchestration tool should use containerization tool. Every container orchestration tool should use containerization tool. Docker Swarm is a container orchestration tool which is using Docker for creating and for managing containers. Any more examples of containerization tool, Nafis? Docker is one example of containerization.
Kubernetes is also another one.
I'm talking about examples of containerization.
Containerization.
Docker is one containerization tool.
Yeah. Apart from that, I don't know.
Huh? Actually, there are 3 to 4 containerization tools. I think there's open containers or something like that. But 95% of the market is captured by
Docker.
So in the market, if anybody is talking about containers, it is understood automatically that it is Docker containers.
Right.
Yeah, there is Rancher, Mesos.
So there are other containerization tools, but they're not popular.
People are talking about mostly Docker. I mean,
Because
containerization, we are talking
the moment
Docker.
containerization comes into picture, client uses Docker. So majority, 90% of the share is occupied by Docker. So if anybody is speaking about containerization tools, they speak about that is nothing but indirectly they're speaking for Docker only. Kubernetes can not only use Docker. In future, if any other containerization tool comes up, Kubernetes can also use other containerization tools if it is equal to Docker. It's not binded to Docker. Docker Swarm, mandatory that you should use Docker. Docker Swarm you cannot use with other containerization tools. If in future, if there's one more containerization tool comes up XYZ, Kubernetes can also use XYZ for creating containers.
Yeah, understood now. It's a cross-platform, we can say that.
Yes, cross-platform. Now, what is abstracting the cross-platform? Because of pod.
Okay, that cleared my doubt as well.
Now I'm clear.
Pod is making Kubernetes cross-platform, container independent. Containerization tool it's not dependent on Docker. In future, if any other containerization tool comes in, you can also implement. Pod will do that. It's
That
one
is
more
why
layer.
Kubernetes are more popular, I guess. I mean,
That
people are
as
talking
Kubernetes
mostly
has
Kubernetes.
more scope,
Yeah, more
future some
scope.
other container comes up, it takes it.
It's a dynamic, we can say it's a
Dynamic.
dynamic organizing tool.
Yes. If a client comes us that saying that for containers we are not using Docker, we are using XYZ, but can I use Kubernetes? Yes, you can do that. It is not dependent on containerization tool. Okay. So what technically what is making that happen? The pod layer is making that happening. It is not depending on containerization tool. Okay. Got it?
Thank you, sir. So that
Thank you very
actually cut out the
Yeah.
diet.
That is very good information. Actually, we come to know.
much. Thank you very
I mean,
much.
now I see why I mean, Rancher is there associated with
Yeah.
Kubernetes.
Yes. Now you understood that?
Yeah, because I mean, I have tried working on Rancher, but I
I read
can't get.
it, but I'm not able to understand it.
Okay.
Now I understood properly.
Okay.
When I was under impression like in why Kubernetes and Rancher are associated. Now it is.
Okay. Okay. Now let's discuss about the components. Before theory, let's look at the image. If you look at the master component, master is having master Kubernetes master is also called as control plane. So remember this term. The Kubernetes master is having 4 components: kube, API server, kube scheduler, controller manager, etc. 4 components. Very simple. Okay. So let's try to understand the first component, kube API server. Kube API server, kube scheduler, controller manager, etc. 4 components. Okay. So starting with, as a DevOps engineer, you will be creating a YAML file. If you look at the diagram, what I am inputting, what I am sending it, you need to send a YAML file. Next point, first point. Using Kubernetes, what you want, what you can create. Maximum thing what you can, minimum thing what you can create is a pod. Nothing that without that you cannot create anything. Minimum thing is what you can create is pod. So if you want to create a pod, how to create a pod? Is there any command create pod, pod name, something like that? No. If you want to create a pod, how to create a pod? Should write a command create pod, pod name? No, it's not the case. You need to create a YAML file. We have learned it in Ansible. We are creating YAML files, is it? If you want to create anything in Kubernetes, you need to use YAML files. There are no commands. You need to create a YAML files. So if your requirement is to create one pod, you need to write a YAML file. Okay. So look at the statement. As a DevOps engineer, you will be creating YAML file as per your requirement. What does YAML file contains? Prashant, can you guess what the YAML file contains?
Also create the container.
What YAML file contains? Obviously, you want to create a pod. It contains the information about what pod you want to create.
Okay.
What's the name of the pod and all this. Inside pod, what do you want? You want a container. So that also you should mention it. Inside pod, what you want to do? That also we should mention it. I want to create one container. So what is the container name? Container should be created using image, na? What image you are using for creating the container? All this information you write it in one file called as a
YAML file.
YAML file. Think from minimum thing point of view. Minimum thing what you can do using Kubernetes is creating a pod. Now you want to create a pod. Okay, inside the pod, what you want, you will obviously have a container. So you'll also mention what container you want. If you want to create a container, you need to also use an image. You should also mention which image you want to use it for creating the container. All this you need to mention in what file, and we should mention it in file called as YAML file. Okay, so the whatever the infrastructure you want, you should create it in the form. You should write it in the YAML file. So that's what a quick discussion we had it according to the image understanding. Now look at the theory. What does YAML file contains? Number of nodes you want. Don't worry, node is this thing. Don't worry about this. Each node should have how many pods, and each pod should have how many containers. So how many pods? Forget about nodes. You should write a file which contains how many pods you want. Each pod should have how many containers. All this information we'll write it in a YAML file. This YAML file is also called as a manifest file. Okay, this document is referring to this YAML file should be provided to Kubernetes master. So whatever your requirements, what pod you want inside pod, what container you want inside, what container should be created using what image, all this information you need to write it in a YAML file and send the YAML file to which component? To Kubernetes master. Now in Kubernetes master, which component your YAML file will receive? A Kube API server. Now look at the Kube API server. Kube API server acts like a receptionist. When you go to an office, the first front desk is a receptionist, isn't it? They'll receive you. Am I right? When you go to an office, in the same way, the Kube API server is acting like a receptionist. It takes the YAML file whichever we send. Now look at the statement. Kube API server acts like a receptionist. It receives the YAML file and passes to the Kube scheduler. It doesn't do anything. It is just a receptionist. It receives the YAML file, send it to Kube scheduler. Kube API server is something like acting like a receptionist. It just takes the YAML file. It does not do any action. It will just pass on to the Kube scheduler. It's something like a receptionist or a messenger. That's it. That information is passed on to Kube scheduler. Clear about understanding Kube API server? Okay. That's it. So Kube API server, just like receptionist, takes the YAML file, sends it to Kube scheduler. Now what Kube scheduler will do? This is the only component having communication to the node. Did you understand? Look at the diagram. There's a link between this scheduler to this component. So the only component which communicates to node is Kube scheduler. See here, there's no controller manager, etc. There's no communication. Kube scheduler is the communicating to the node as per the diagram. Now let's look at the second component. Kube scheduler. Kube scheduler will take the action. What action? You have mentioned that I want one node inside one node, I want container. So as per the information you have mentioned in the YAML file, actually the work is taken by the Kube scheduler. The Kube scheduler will create the pods and containers. So which component is actually taking the action? Kube scheduler is actually taking the action. Kube scheduler will create the pods. Inside the pods, it will create the containers. So this is the important component which performs the action. Second component completed. Any questions? We write a YAML file which contains what pod you want, what container you want. API server will take that as a receptionist, send it to scheduler. Scheduler will create the pods and containers. Yes, Vikas.
Hey, so where will the master available?
I will see practically. I'll show you now.
Okay, will it be part of the pods? Master also? Part of the pod?
No. Okay.
I think he is asking, sir, will master be a part of a cluster? I think.
Is that your question? Is master a part of a cluster or is
No,
master?
cluster is master plus node, right?
You are right. Perfect. Cluster is combination of master and node. Now your doubt.
Where will the master on the infrastructure?
Where is the master created? We'll see now because we'll see.
Okay.
We'll create master machine. Then you'll understand.
Okay. Thanks.
We'll see node. We'll create node. We'll create master. You'll understand. Akhil, you already know Kubernetes now. Tell me. Am I right?
No.
Huh?
It just heard terms, but not completely.
Okay, if I'm wrong, please tell me because I also, frankly speaking, I have never worked on Kubernetes. Akhil.
Okay, but I can't say whether you are right or wrong because
I have never worked on Kubernetes. Okay, so same like how you are exploring and understanding the knowledge, I have explored and understood the knowledge, got the knowledge.
Okay then. Superb.
Let's proceed. Yes, let's proceed. So one component is done, second component is done, Kube scheduler. Now let's just understand third component. etcd. Where is etcd in our diagram? etcd. Okay, what does it do? It is also called as cluster store. It has the information about the complete cluster. It is used to store the data of master node containers. Data is stored in key value base. We will technically not work with etcd component. We will never work with etcd component. But we'll understand what etcd. etcd is something like a
repository.
It has repository. It has complete information. It has everything.
Metadata
Our cluster
information,
is
we can say that.
metadata information. It has complete information about how many nodes our cluster is having. Each node, how many pods as of now it is running. Inside pods, how many containers are. Complete data, complete dictionary or complete information. It will have it in the etcd component. Complete information is there in the etcd component.
So like we fiddle around with the config file, can we also fiddle around with the etc file? Can we make changes in etc file?
Which file?
etc file. etcd file environment.
This is not a file. This is not a file. This is a component.
But sir, is it interactable component? How
No,
is it?
you cannot contact. You cannot communicate. This is the component. The architecture is built. That's it. This is the information. Okay, we will not do anything. You cannot control it. Nothing.
Okay.
Okay. So that's ECD component. Controller manager. Look at the component controller manager. In brackets, I have written something. Actual state is equal to desired state. Okay, when you send a YAML file, as I told you, YAML file contains the information what you want. Okay, now my requirement is I want 5 pods. Each pod should have 1 container. 5 pods. I want each pod should have 1 container. That's it. This is my requirement. So you pass it out. So kube scheduler will take the action. It will create 5 pods. Each pod should have 1 container. Do you remember in Docker Swarm we have discussed about handling failure scenarios? In case if any container is removed automatically, it creates a new container and makes sure that the actual state is equal to desired state. This happened in Docker Swarm. The same thing happens in Kubernetes also. Which component is always every second it makes sure that whatever the current state, what the Kubernetes architecture is having, it is equal to the desired state. What is the desired state? Desired state is what you mentioned in the YAML file. That is the desired state. So every fraction of a second, controller manager will verify whether the current state is equal to desired state or not. In case if the current state is not equal to desired state, in case if one cluster is if one container is down immediately, or if one pod is down immediately, it creates a new pod. And make sure it always this which component makes sure that the current state is equal to the desired state. It is a controller manager. So it is responsible, will make sure that the current actual state is same as desired state. These 4 components put together is called as a control plane.
Sir.
Yes.
You said that it actually gets us to our desired state. In Docker Swarm, we could of course go ahead and initiate one more master, right? So what if the master fails here?
If it is master fails here, we'll see that in practicals.
Okay.
Prashant, do you remember we have in case of Docker Swarm, as there is a concept of master getting failed, we have created multiple managers and one manager will become leader. Do you remember? In case if the manager is gone on. So here also there's a concept solution for this. Okay, you need to wait.
Sunil?
Yes.
Yeah, what is this desired state?
Desired state is nothing but what you want. For example, I want to have 5 pods. Okay, each pod should have 1 container. Total 5 containers. This is what your requirement. Your requirement is nothing but desired state. So you, as per your requirement, what you'll be doing, you'll be creating a YAML file. In the YAML file, you will write the information as per your desire, as per your requirement. That state is called as a desired state. And controller manager makes sure that whatever you want, it's always satisfied.
Is it a file status or which status it is?
It's a container. It's a
container state.
Architecture. What is it?
Okay.
Cluster status. Combination of master and node. So complete status. It will maintain, make sure that every component is perfectly running. It checks, monitors it. That's called as a controller manager. Okay.
Okay.
This is about Kubernetes master component. Any questions, Chetan?
No, sir, I'm good. One question, like
you know Kubernetes, Chetan, before?
No, I went through some videos, but not that much idea. So here in master kube API server, why it's like kube API server? Any idea?
This is a component which takes the YAML file actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Your voice is not clear.
like why they, so it
Your
can be
voice is
anything, right?
repeat again.
It only receiving the YAML file, right? So it's named as kube API server, right? So it's taking only YAML file, and it can be any another name also, but their particular mention is API server. So why is that? Any idea?
Anything which takes the request is actually a server, isn't it? So that's why it is called as an API server. Okay. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we don't need to worry about all these components. The practical way of approaching learning Kubernetes is different. This is only in case if the interview they'll ask you what is, can you understand what are components are there in the Kubernetes architecture? They'll ask you what is a cluster or something like that. Practical way of learning is different. This theoretical way. When this is important from the interview point. Okay. Now let's move to node. Let's move to node component. A node is also called as minion. These terms are making us confused actually. By looking at the term, we will be a little bit surprised, or we'll be into we'll lose the confidence when you don't know the terms. Okay, we think something different. A node is also called as a minion. Okay, master is also called as control plane. Okay, now let's look at the before the understanding the notepad nodes. Look at the node diagram. It contains container engine. That's nothing but Docker. You can replace container engine with Docker. And Docker creates container one. So anyways, Docker, you understand, Docker can create containers. So this is the containers. We have one component called kubelet. We'll have one component called kubeproxy. Okay. Now let's proceed with node. It has three components: kubelet, kubeproxy, okay, container engine. It's nothing but Docker. Kubelet is called as an agent as it listens to the master. The only component which is listening to the master, look at this. The only component which is listening to the master is called as kubelet. This is a component which is listening to master. That's why it's called as an agent. As it listens to the master. Kubescheduler component communicates to kubelet. As I mentioned, that kubelet, which component is from the node point of view, kubelet is a point of communication. From the master point of view, kubescheduler. These both communicate with each other in creating pods and containers. So this is about kubelet. Kubelet communicates to container engine. That's nothing but Docker. That's the reason I have mentioned a diagram. In the YAML file, what you mentioned, I want one pod. Inside one pod, what you want one container. This is what your requirement is. Your requirement is to create one pod. Inside the pod, you want to create a container. This is your requirement. So how do you write your requirement? You will mention your requirement in the form of what file? In the form of YAML file, and you send it to YAML file to the, and you run the YAML file. So that information will be sent to kubescheduler. It will take the action. It will trigger the kubelet, and finally, what you want, again, you need to create a container, right? So this will trigger the container engine. So container gets created. So that's how, on a high level, the communication happens. Containers are created, and anyways, as per Kubernetes, containers are always inside the pod. You will never create a container outside the pod. You cannot create a container outside the pod. Every container should be inside the pod. We already know that. That is kubelet component.
So here in the picture,
Yes.
Sunil, here in the picture, the container engine will create the containers. Okay.
Yes.
So down container 1, container 2. So that rectangle box is that a pod
No,
created by the containers
no,
1,
no.
2?
This container 1 and container 2, these are containers. Vidya, these two containers
Okay,
are one more outside rectangle, isn't it?
it's a
Huh?
pod.
That's a pod, obviously.
Is it a pod?
It's a pod. I have not named it because
Okay.
there is no space.
So
Every container, look at this
okay.
diagram.
So
Every container
container,
is inside the pod.
yeah, got it. Container engine, and there is no link between the pod. So how we can container engine, how it is containing,
Don't need to
how
worry
it is
about.
creating the container?
You don't need to worry about how the container is placed inside the pod. Is container engine communicating to the pod? You don't need to worry about that. That's how the tool is designed. Understand this concept. Container will be created inside the pod. That's it.
Okay. So one node, how many pods will be contained?
One node can contain one pod. One node can contain 100 pods. One node can contain 1,000 pods, depending upon the size of the node. Speed of the node is nothing but a machine. Okay. It's nothing but an EC2 machine with 8 GB RAM and 120 GB RAM. It's nothing but a machine. You can understand and visualize as a machine. Okay. All this.
Multiple pods can be exist in one node, right?
Yes, you are right. Multiple
Is
pods.
it?
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh.
Multiple pods will create it. Okay, inside a node.
Okay. So how, one more thing, please. So how the multiple pods will be get to know the container engine?
We'll see that practically once we see the first example, you'll understand it. One pod creation, one inside one pod, one container. If you see that example, then it will be clear how it happens. Okay, Vidya?
Okay, Sunil.
So
Yes, Prashant.
in our example, we are using Docker, right? So if we want to remove that Docker and we want to use another containerization tool, like suppose Rancher or OpenShift or something, how, I mean, is there something in your lectures
You
that
have to perform that. So you need to install that particular other containerization tool. Okay, so there's a roundabout solution for it.
Okay, we have it, right?
Yes.
So you're covering it, right?
I am covering it with respect to Docker. Okay, I don't know how to integrate with other containerization tool, but it can be done. Okay. So kubelet is done. Next component, kube proxy. It will provide IP address to pod. That's it. Every pod will have IP address. Okay, we'll see when you create a pod. I will show you that this pod is having this IP address. So which component is responsible for providing IP address to the pod? Kube proxy. That component. Fine.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Sunil, I have shared you 2 images in WhatsApp regarding nodes and ports.
Regarding?
If it is useful, nodes and port.
Okay.
So if you can share that, like if it is useful, you can share that.
Okay.
Once I have overlaid that.
Okay. But am I done with this?
No, once you are done, you can see that also.
Kubernetes command start with kubectl, kubeadmin, kubefederation. Okay, this becomes more. This is it confusing. Don't worry about this. Okay, so we are done. I'm done with explaining the Kubernetes architecture. Any question? Simple, na? Akhil? Simple, na?
Yeah, Sunil, I have one doubt.
Is
like
simple or not? First tell me.
Previously, yeah, it's good actually. On
Not
last
good. Is it?
week,
My question is not good or bad. My question is, it's simple or not?
Simple, Sunil, like understanding architecture is.
Okay.
But once we work, everything will be clear. Like what is the essence of pod and what is the essence of node here.
Yes, Asif, you have anything to say?
Yes, it's not simple, but you make it simple. That's what I wanted to say.
That's really true.
No. 1 minute. If it is not simple, how can I make it simple?
The way you explain becomes
it is not simple. It will not be simple at all.
Yes,
sir,
it is
First,
simple
we
when we understand it. If
we need to
if
tune our
we don't
brains.
understand,
We need to tune our
no,
brains
no.
that it is simple. Then it becomes simple.
The way we
Okay.
tune our brain, then only once we understand, then only it becomes simple. If we
Generally, we
don't
know
understand the
schooling. No.
terminology, it is not simple for us.
No. In generally in our schooling days, especially in maths, uh, if you are unable to learn one chapter, it becomes complex, right? Trigonometry
Yes,
for me it was very complex. Then one teacher told simplified me. So if we are now then next day onwards I feel simple. Same way we should tune that. We should tune that it will become simple. So it becomes simple.
mm-hmm.
that's what,
You
sir, you have
explained it
some
very
Asif,
well.
Asif, you know
tricks
Kubernetes before?
under your sleeves.
No, nothing about Kubernetes, just a
Then
orchestration
we are
tool.
learning. So Akhil has sent us some images. So I just want to get that. Vidya, Akhil is a person who had attended that 3-day training on a real-time project on DevOps. Okay, you can
Oh
ping
yeah,
him
yeah.
and
Yesterday
get
was
his number.
absent.
Yeah, Akhil,
Yeah, sure.
one participant Vidya from our batch, he wants to get the training institute number where you have undergone
Yeah,
the 3 days training.
Chanakya know the details about that. Chanakya.
I don't understand why these guys are wasting money.
Chanakya is there?
Don't
Chanakya
think in
shared
that
that
way.
institute number.
Oh,
Yeah, but sure I will. But please, we I mean here we are seeing Sunil, so we should not degrade any others, right? So it's
No,
not a
no,
kind of wasting money.
they need information. That's it.
But
Not about degradation that I'm saying.
yeah.
Okay, it's a quality
But the
that
word you have used, yeah, it's
see,
fine. Up to me, I have gone through, right? So everything is fine. Just own that single day it happened. That's it.
okay. No, it's all about quality that I speak, in fact, because I have seen like in lectures and lecturers who talk about things and probably, I mean, later on we do see that nothing is covered. It's the way they teach as well that is important.
Okay. Anyways, Chanakya, share
No.
that in the
I'm
chat group. Uh, she will take that
yeah,
chat.
sure. I will. Sure, I will do.
Or one. See, every pod is having an IP address. See, okay. And this is nothing but contain. What does pod contains? Containers. Diagrammatical representation. Container can have volumes. So, anyways, we have learned how to attach volumes and all this. This is pod 3, which contains 2 containers. Like this, one pod can have multiple containers. Just to make these images makes us more clear, understand what exactly how it happens.
yeah, it's true.
Pod 1, this is a pod, contains 1 container, volume. This is a node. Okay. Node contains Docker, obviously, is it? Node is having
What is
Docker,
this volume?
and kubelet, node contains kubelet. We'll see that. Even volume, I need to work out. Okay. So I have heard about it. I have not worked on volumes. Okay.
Okay.
Got it. I hope these diagrams are really helping us to understand. This is a node. Node contains pods. We can have multiple pods. Pods can contain containers. One pod can have multiple containers. Easy way of representation. Okay. Okay. This is theory of Kubernetes. Practicals of Kubernetes, not now. And where do we do practicals? Very important. We will be learning Kubernetes on Google Cloud Platform, not on AWS. Okay, so like how you have signed up for AWS free tier account, go ahead and sign up for GCP, Google Cloud account. Okay, because practicing Kubernetes on AWS is expensive because Kubernetes needs more infrastructure. It is very, very expensive. It is not a free tier limit. It is a paid version. So we end up getting a bill. So any platform does not make any difference. Is it? The tool behaves the same irrespective whether you're working on GCP or AWS. So I will be learning Google Kubernetes on Google Cloud platform. Okay, Prashant.
Yeah, sir. Thank you.
That's how you'll also exposure to Google GCP. Have anybody seen the GCP environment? Prashant, have you any time logged in?
A small aspect.
Yes, Prashant.
Sunil.
Yes,
Sunil.
Karthik.
Yeah, using Amazon ECS, we can use Kubernetes, no? Elastic Container Service.
That's right. It is a paid service. That's the reason we are going for GCP. GCP gives us 25,000 Indian rupees of credit. Okay. And as per US dollars, it provides us 500 US dollars credit, I think so. So that's more than enough for us to practice. Okay, we'll be using that credits and then creating the cluster, which is combination of Kubernetes master and node. Okay.
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 Thanks.
So today is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Have a nice weekend. Okay, we miss you Saturday, Sunday. See you on Monday. We will see the practicals of Kubernetes.
Okay, sir.
Nafis,
The certification. So the certification from Rancher is free. So if anybody is interested, please go ahead and get it done.
Okay. I think you have posted the details in the blog.
Yeah, I posted it. I will repost it again. When we have something free associated with, Docker Kubernetes would of course give us a charge, right? Cost around 12,000 rupees or something for a paper. So we can go for Rancher certification.
Okay.
It's free.
Okay. Thank you all. I'll be sharing this
Someone
anyway.
had
Thank you, Sunil.
Both the
Someone had
attached
created the table.
advanced or just which you have earlier one?
1 minute, please. Nafis, please tell me.
Yeah, the 4 p.m. batch for the AWS which you have started, it's in basic, fundamental or advanced you have started?
Which one?
4 p.m. batch of AWS.
Basic one. You're there, I think so.
No. I mean, I'm not doing. Earlier, I have some of the lecture I have missed, but you were preparing for the advanced one, na? So I thought it was the advanced one.
No advanced. Anyways, advanced, I'll share it to you. Okay, once it is done.
Okay.
Actually, my plan is to give some workshop on shell scripting later. Okay. See, cool. One after the other, we need to add the skill sets in DevOps once we are in DevOps. See, in DevOps, there's nothing but one important skill set. If we are aiming for DevOps role, you should have a huge high-level understanding, not in detail, high-level understanding on
conceptual. Yeah, that is what I mean. Kubernetes, we learn a lot of things today.
Understanding of shell scripting. You don't need to have in-depth understanding of Linux, but you should know shell scripting. You should know Linux.
You should know.
Correct. You should know how exactly networking happens. So you should know basics of networking. All you should know A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H like this.
We are in ocean. We have to learn a lot of things.
And we should keep on adding.
Yeah. That is why. That is how we can survive.
That's how the technology is also, especially in DevOps. Okay.
Hello.
That's it. We are aiming for that. Okay. So the moment you are in the group, okay, the moment you are in any of the group which we have created, that means you have taken a lifetime membership. Okay. So you are invited for all the upcoming sessions and lectures.
Sir, share this group with these guys. I'm still not an admin. I will share that.
Sorry?
So these guys are asking for that Telegram group name. You can share it with them.
Yeah, I was waiting for that as well.
Okay, Telegram group, I'll share it in the WhatsApp group. Okay. And I'll also share it in the new group. Okay. Thank you. And have a nice weekend. So, yes. Anything? Rashikar?
Yes, sir. I got a call from one Bangalore company. It's a small startup. Actually, they asked for shell scripting.
Okay.
I don't. Did they have any
I have some
information about?
videos on shell scripting, not my videos, some other faculty videos. I'll share that with you. That will be helpful. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Send me an email, Rashikar, saying that I'm
Okay.
looking for shell scripting videos.
Sure. Okay. I'll send you a mail. Thank you.
Okay. Any question anymore? Okay. Missing you all Saturday and Sunday. Eagerly waiting for Monday. Okay. So that we'll start Kubernetes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sunil.
Thank you.
Oh, man.